Good morning, guys, good afternoon and good evening whenever you're watching this. I hope you're well. It is a Sunday afternoon here. I'm at work or in my little space that I rent. It's a good time to come down here on Sunday because no one's here. So I have the place to myself and it's quiet. I can make my little videos and and catch up on my work. Today, guys, I wanted to share three things that I've learned from failure. Now, some of you guys may or may not know that I've actually been involved in some pretty big rescues. There are some things that I have been involved with that haven't gone my way. Yes, I think still to this day, I am the only person on the planet that's rode an ocean, summited Everest and cycled the world. But what anyone who's achieved anything worth talking about will tell you is that at some point along the way, I can guarantee you they will have failed. And so just to share some of my failures with you, in 2015 I was rowing across the Indian Ocean from Western Australia to Mauritius, and myself and my rowing partner got caught up in a big storm. Our boat rolled over, my rowing partner hit his head, and we had to be rescued in very dramatic style. Then a year later, I was taking a client across the Atlantic Ocean in a pedalo, in a custom-made pedalo. It was very similar to a rowing boat, but instead of rowing, we had a recumbent cycling position. It was really efficient. Anyway, we were over halfway across. We were going really well, and unfortunately, he had what we thought was a suspected stroke. He had a medical condition, and so then I had to orchestrate a rescue again. And I thought, Christ, lightning can't surely strike twice. So I was rescued again for a second time. Then later that year, in 2016, I attempted to row single-handed, so solo, a boat around the coast of Britain. I don't know if anyone has managed to do that as of yet, but that is a really difficult row. And I would think I was 5 days in, and I picked up a kidney infection, which was a real problem, and I had to come off the boat and I was taken to hospital. By the time I was better, it was a little bit late leaving in the season, so by the time I was better, I'd kind of pretty much missed the weather window to get round. So, three huge things have actually gone wrong for me, have not worked out. But whenever there's something hasn't gone to plan, or you think that there's a very grey cloud over an area of your life where you haven't achieved what you want to achieve, and you've sort of failed, if you like, don't worry, it's a good thing, because for every bad thing that happens, not bad thing, but for every failure that you have, something good will come off the back of it. You don't always see it at the time, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that in a minute. But the three things you will learn from failure are, the first one is experience. You will get experience. And what I mean by that is, you can read all the books on a particular subject and watch all the videos and do all the studying, but without actual experience, getting out there and doing whatever it is that you want to do, even if you fail, you've got out there and you've gained valuable experience, okay? So that is the one thing that by default, you will gain. The second thing that you will gain is knowledge, okay? So the second time I was rescued, I'd already been rescued once, so I had no idea I was going to be rescued again. But I had the knowledge of what was coming, and I knew what to do. I knew how to handle the situation. And so when I was rescued in the Atlantic Ocean, and I had to get my client off the boat and up onto a big commercial bulk carrier, a huge ship that was 300 meters long and 60 foot up to the deck. That's like almost as high as this building. I knew what I had to do. I knew the process. I knew exactly what I do. I had the knowledge and the experience, and the knowledge will be massively invaluable to you. And knowledge of failing is something that yes, you can read books, but again, You have that experience and that knowledge that only comes with going through that process. And I think the third thing, for me, this is by far the most important thing that you can ever learn. And if you can develop the ability to learn this and keep going, you're going to do well. And that third thing is resilience. Every time you fail and you get back up and you have another go, you don't realize it, but you are gaining in resilience. And I'll tell you something, if you put two people together who are trying to achieve the same things, one is very intelligent, one is highly gifted, but that person has no resilience. So every time he or she gets knocked back, gets taken down or whatever, or things don't go their way, they're not going to go that far. But the next person, he or she may not even be that gifted. They may not even be that bright. But if they have that resilience and that grit and that ambition, I'm telling you, and this is not even debatable, I'm telling you for a fact, that person will absolutely go a million miles beyond where the gifted person gets to, because they have no resilience. And this world is changing fast, guys. And I see this a lot. Don't forget, I'm going into schools on a regular basis. I see young people. I meet people a lot out and about when I'm speaking at conferences. Human beings, okay, are becoming quite weak. We are, as a race, we're losing that resilience. And it's the world that we live in, because we're used to having everything now. And we're living in a world of blame. So if something goes wrong, it's always someone else's fault. Always someone else's fault. And that is a big problem. So actually, going back to resilience here, even if you have just a little bit of resilience, you'll probably do a lot better than most other people, because humans are becoming weak now. We are massively losing that resilience and that strength that I personally think that we had. Not everyone, but I see this. I see it a lot. People just giving up the second something gets remotely hard. So what I'm trying to say is, you don't even need to be that good anymore. You don't even need to have that much resilience anymore. If you just have a little bit, you're gonna do quite well. So those are the three things that I've learned from failure. So it's experience, it's knowledge, and it's resilience. There are loads of other things, but I just wanted to share three things with you. And just going back to 2015, when I was rescued out in the Indian Ocean, this was global news. I came back thinking I'd lost all my credibility. It was quite, and I thought I'd let my rowing partner down. It was a really dark kind of time for me. I was really quite fed up. I thought everything that I'd worked on over years has just disappeared. But do you know what? The reality, it was totally the opposite. I came back, everyone wanted to know what it was like to be rescued. My speaking went through the roof, and bizarrely, my profile almost kind of went up. It was crazy. And I didn't see it at the time, but looking back, I actually gained, I actually benefited off the back of something failing. And this is what I mean. You don't see it at the time, but there will always be something good that comes off the back of failing. Always. You just won't see it at the time. You'll see it looking back in months or years to come. So the reason why I wanted to make this video around failure is because if you are not failing hard enough, guys, you are simply not trying and you are not pushing yourself. And I get asked a lot about, am I scared of failing? Why these projects that you work on, what happens if you fail? Well, the reality is I have, and the reality is I probably will do with future projects. You can't win at everything that you do, but if you do nothing, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change for you, and you may as well be dead. If you're going to do nothing because you're scared of failing, to me, that's just a complete waste. But look, everyone's different. This is just me sharing my opinion. There's no right or wrong way to live. It's up to you guys. But that's my three things that I have learned from failure, and I'm telling you, they will stand you in good stead. And if you just keep getting up, every time you get knocked down, good things will come your way. They really will, guys. So, also a big thanks to everyone who's bought the book. I know I say this pretty much every time I put a video out, but book sales have been going really well, and I really appreciate that. So thank you, guys. Right, there's some more content coming this week. I've got some flying. I was flying yesterday, but with what I was doing, I wasn't quite able to take the camera. I'm speaking at a big conference this Tuesday up in London. We've got about 1,000 people, so it should be really good. It's actually being filmed. It's being filmed, so all being well, I'll be able to share some sort of snippets from that talk with you guys. But anyway, guys, it's back to work. It's Sunday. I'm here. I've been here for the last 4 or 5 hours, just getting on top of things. And next week is going to be a good week. So, guys, whatever it is that you do, whenever you watch this, or next week, or next year, or whatever, or I would say now, do it now. Don't be afraid of failing. Failure is you learn to become friends with failure. If you learn to get used to it and it doesn't bother you, and you just keep cracking on, you'll do quite well. Because at some point things are going to go your way. So just remember those 3 things, guys. Knowledge, resilience, and experience come from failure. All right? Right, out for now, guys.